Is the Wuhan virus pandemic ending, or is it growing bigger? Well, it remains an uphill battle even after the vaccines. That's because the virus is mutating again, and there are growing fears that the vaccines may not work against these mutations. South Africa, for instance, has halted the rollout of the Oxford vaccine. Why? Because it may not work against a more contagious variant of the Wuhan virus. And the bad news does not end there. Scientists in South Africa claim that those who were infected before may not be immune to this new mutation. Now, this is a major blow for South Africa. This country has recorded close to 1.5 million cases and more than 45,000 deaths. But what does this development mean for the Oxford vaccine? This shot is being administered in India too, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. Does it not work? Should the world stop using it? And are all vaccines ineffective against a mutating virus? We'll try and take these questions one by one. First of all, is the Oxford vaccine ineffective? Well, in this case, honestly, it's too soon to tell. The sample size of the study conducted in South Africa is too small, and most of the participants are young. It is impossible to declare a verdict on the Oxford shot right now. South Africa's health minister has himself admitted they need to carry out more tests to be sure.
And we are uncertain about the impact of the vaccine that it will have on hospitalization, severe diseases and death. This means that what we will take from Professor Shabir Madhi is that some more work needs to be done on this issue, because the results from other countries have been quite satisfactory, but there are issues in South Africa that we need to study a bit more.
What about the rest of the vaccines? Will these mutations make them ineffective? Scientists across the world are just beginning to understand these mutations, and they believe the vaccines will not entirely be ineffective. They might be modified to work with the new variants, and those who've taken the vaccines might need a booster shot. In the United Kingdom, scientists are already working on booster shots. They might need them soon because the mutations are growing by numbers. The UK faces the risk of becoming a melting pot. Reports say 3 different variants of the Wuhan virus are now circulating in the United Kingdom. 3 variants, and they all have a mutation called E484K, a mutation that could undermine immunity from previous infections and current vaccines. This, by the way, is not the first mutation of the Wuhan virus. It certainly won't be the last. There have been at least 4,000 mutations of this virus, 4,000. Does that mean the pandemic will never end? There is no magic bullet, yes. Countries can only hope to make incremental progress. The only way to keep fighting this virus is to keep adapting to its changes. The silver lining here is that most vaccine makers say they're able, or they will be able, to adapt their shots for the variants and push out better variants of vaccines in a matter of weeks. It's a race. Experts believe that one may need yearly vaccination to combat the virus, just like how flu shots work. So scientists will have to keep testing the vaccines at every turn. And in such a situation, vaccine data is going to be vital. Which brings us back to China, because the Chinese vaccine makers have not provided vaccine data yet. A report now claims that China forced Nepal to take its vaccines even when the efficacy was under question. Apparently, the Chinese embassy in Kathmandu wanted Nepal to accept Sinovac. The Nepal government is yet to give permission to the Chinese vaccines, but China will reportedly provide 500,000 doses. Nepal has already kicked off its mass vaccination drive with Indian vaccines. Last month, India provided 1 million shots of the Oxford vaccine to Kathmandu. In the meantime, there's been growing skepticism against the Chinese shots, not just in Nepal, the world over. Last week, French President Emmanuel Macron had this warning for countries that are banking on Chinese vaccines.
I have absolutely no information about the Chinese one. I will not comment, but this is matter of fact. What it means is that on the mid to long run, it is almost sure that if this vaccine is not appropriate, it will facilitate the emergence of new variants. It will absolutely not fix the situation of these countries.
The fight against the Wuhan virus may get tougher as the virus mutates, leading to more infections. And it is an unpredictable virus, but the world can certainly get its guard up against unreliable vaccines. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.